Welcome to the Vermont Dog Trainer Show, everybody. This is episode 2 here, and I think in just a second I'm going to get started. So I'm going to cover a couple things today. One, the video breakdown. This actually comes from my Canines and Culture group, which is a 3-month online course that I have for people with. I send them weekly emails with instructional videos. We meet once a week on a Zoom call, and they have a community so we can keep in touch throughout the week. So I'm going to break down. I actually have 2 videos. They're 2 dogs. It's the same interaction, if you will, just 2 different videos, same dogs. And then I had a couple of videos or a couple of lessons this morning, but one of them we got on the subject of crate training, and I want to talk a little bit about that as well. So that's kind of what our day looks like. And then, of course, if there's anybody that has any questions, then I will take those at the very end as well. And hopefully you enjoyed episode 1. And I've been enjoying doing this. This is not my house, by the way. It's just a background, but that would be amazing, wouldn't it? All right, so I am going to share my screen here. Hopefully this works. Again, I'm still new at doing all this stuff here on YouTube. So, culture. Yep, we're gonna do that one. Okay, so hopefully you can see this just fine. And if somebody's watching, they could let me know. So we're gonna watch this video in full. Actually, do that. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna watch this now. This is the video. So the tan dog is actually a younger dog, more puppy-like from what I've been told. And then the other one's an adult dog. So let's watch this. Okay, so we're going to go back and look at this again because there are a couple things here that I want to talk about. First is energy level. So the energy level of this puppy is actually on the verge of overwhelming this black dog. I don't know if you could notice that beforehand. And if you're watching this at a different time and not live, you can rewind and look at that again. So as they play here, here's one thing to notice. The black dog is willing to be and to play the submissive role at this time, which is great. I mean, this is all a part of how dogs play. One will play the submissive role. One will be the I hate to even use the word dominant role, but it's just a play thing. It doesn't mean that's who they are. But I feel like the black dog gets a little overwhelmed here in this process, and as we because you just see those reactions there where the black dog kind of just like takes his head back a couple of times. And then, you know, the puppy jumps right up on the couch here and right up on top. Like right here, I think this is a little too much. This is where I would have just grabbed the leash of the puppy and just drawn the dog back off of the couch because I want to create a cap for all this play. And I feel like in these moments here, the puppy's not learning how to cap that intensity. And I don't think the black dog actually has it in him or her. I don't know where a girl there doesn't have it in him or herself to be able to say, hey, that's a little bit too much. So like even this, I just wouldn't allow the puppy to be over on top of another dog. Now this isn't like an aggressive thing. What my hopes is when I'm teaching a younger dog this is that I don't want them to grow up knowing they can do this to any and every dog. I don't want them to think about that. What I want them to learn is these are the things that I'm allowed to do and these are the things that I'm not allowed to do. And that for me is where having a dog hang around with other dogs that have life skills that can cap this off are great. And if we don't have a dog like that, that's when we can use a leash and draw the dog off. Like even all this, like the last few seconds of this, I'm just rewinding here kind of slowly. So as the black dog moves over and the tan dog moves in, the black dog goes into avoidance right here a little bit. Like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna hang here for a second. And from what I understand, I think this is the first time that these two have come together. So they're learning each other's play styles. So there is a learning, but I also want the dog to understand these are the rules of how I'm going to allow you guys to play together. But again, so see, it's a puppy thing. This dog just is going over to get on top of the other dog. I just don't want the puppy to learn he can do that to every single dog. That's all. That's my concern. See, that's more avoidance there. If we look back at this again, I'm just going to rewind it. So right here, now we're moving forward, by the way. Right there, see the black dog jumps away. Tan dog moves in. Black dog turns its head away again. So back into avoidance again. These are the things that tell me that this tan dog is just the energy is a little too much for the black dog. And as much as we teach the tan dog, hey, like that's too much, we're also teaching the black dog, I've got your back. I'm not going to allow this to happen to you. Because oftentimes the black dog will start to realize, like, I guess this is just left up to me. And over time, the black dog could get totally sick of it and be like, I've had it, and then snap. Or it just learns to live that way and just get overwhelmed. So just, educational stuff here. Like right there, see? I think that's like a half trying to get away and not trying to play, but you can see what the tan dog did here. But he's just holding still. So I feel like I would want to step in and stick up for him a little bit during this process, So, okay, so that's that video. Hopefully you like that. So now we're going to go on to this one. We'll watch it in full here, hopefully. I may have to pop back out and pop back in. I think I do. I think I do. Hold on 1 second for me. I'm going to get this straightened around. Okay. Okay, so now we'll watch this one in full. So different dog here, right? But we still have the same puppy. So and they know they were going to have me look over this. That's why they recorded this. Okay, so if you look at the overall behavior of the adult dog here, this dog is in avoidance and trying to get away the entire time. These are the things that I want dog owners to recognize so that they can stick up for a dog like the adult dog here. If we don't stick up for this dog, they will decide that they're either going to keep moving backwards, going into avoidance, going into avoidance, going into avoidance, and living back there, knowing that they're just going to get overpowered from this dog, or we can step in, make things neutral so that they both understand their rules. Or option 3 for the adult dog is it gets sick of having to keep being put into avoidance and going back, that pendulum then starts to swing forward. And now it's actually going to start addressing the puppy. All well and good if that dog has the ability, the confidence, and the wherewithal to do it. But if that dog doesn't know how to do it correctly, that's when the dog is going to start to leave marks on the other dog. The aggression starts to kick in. And that's also where I hear people go, well, where did this come from? My dog's never done this. They get along fine. Well, we miss all these signals of avoidance, because even in the midst of all this, as I start to play this again, watch it how much this adult dog, and I can count this in the 25 seconds, how many times the adult dog is trying to stay away from the situation, stay away from the dog. Number one, right there. See the dog's already turning its head away from the puppy. Number two, jumping up on the couch, trying to get away. Number three, moving away from the dog. Number four, there. Number five, there. Look, we've gone 12 seconds and that dog is already, the adult dog has already tried to get away 5 times and avoid that dog 5 times. Now, look at the dog's face here. I wish I could zoom in, but I can't. So I don't know if you can see it, but the mouth is very much wide open and ears are pinned back here. So this dog is, it went from avoidance into flight mode, literally trying to get away from this dog. So avoidance into flight is an intensity. Like, I can avoid you and I can hang here, but man, you won't get away. I have to move away. And when I moved away, you came after me. So this is the part that can start to be stressful on the dog, because he feels like, or she feels like, what else are they supposed to do? Nobody is sticking up for them in this context. Now, the other thing too, so if this was me and I was there, I would explain to this gentleman here, if we look at the states of mind of these dogs, so we have the adult dog that's in avoidance in this context. We have a puppy that's in play, excitement mode, that is, in my opinion, gone too far, because you don't get to chase after a dog while they're in avoidance of you. So what happens is we're giving these dogs affection at the same time. We're saying to the adult dog, I want you to give me more of this state of mind. I am rewarding you with these pets because I love you, and for whatever reason, right? Whatever reason is happening. So when we're petting a dog, we're nurturing that state of mind. And in this process, we're also nurturing the excitement in the puppy. I'm guessing I wouldn't want this to continue for the adult dog. I wouldn't want the adult dog to experience this time and time and time and time again. In the same breath, I want the puppy to learn that there's rules and boundaries as to how intense we can get with play inside the house. And in this context, for me, petting at this moment isn't helping things. A lot of times, I know this guy's intention is positive, 100% positive, and he wants them to chill out. And I get that, and I appreciate that, because his head isn't and his heart are in the right spot. We just need to look at the psychology of what's going on in their states of mind right now, rather than focusing on what they're doing physically. That's all. And even there, when he said no, I think the dog might have mouthed his hand or whatever. But we just have to make sure there's not enough video of it here. We have to make sure that we follow through with that and actually get the dog to get back down onto the couch. So when we look at this petting, because the beginning, the video started with this as well. So you can see the puppy's on this. I don't know if he's chewing on his back leg or whatever. But this dog is in avoidance and getting petted at the same time. So this is the same conversation this dog is getting. It makes me think that the dog's going, hey, help me, because we're also seeing a little curve of, like, if we were looking at this dog sideways this way, right? I'm going to put my hand this way. Looking at this dog sideways, there's probably a hunch here, which is this dog trying to say, like, I'm no threat here. I'm trying to make myself a little smaller because I'm trying to avoid the situation. So this dog goes from here, see, there's the avoidance and getting petted for it, and then realizing that the person is not helping. So now we're going into that first avoidance to get up onto the couch. And then this is the second one. This part here is what tells me too that the adult dog in here probably doesn't have the confidence to be able to um, address this unwanted behavior or this unwanted invasion of space, if you will, because the dog chose to move away, use its flight mechanism rather than turn to address. Right there. So the dog left one human, went up onto the couch, it continued, then chose to go over, get between two more humans to get some help. And I appreciate her taking the video. So now she can watch this and see this whole thing in real time. So I hope that helps. You know, when this person posted this and I got her permission to talk about this, I mean, this is going to help a lot of people, but there's a distinct energy difference here and temperament and who knows the history of the adult dog as far as their ability or inability to be around other dogs. I don't know. The good news is there's not fights happening here. Could there be over time? There could be. There could be. There very well could be. But I want for me again to reiterate and to kind of like encompass everything all together here. We have to teach the younger dog what's allowed and what isn't allowed when it comes to playing with other dogs. Like you're not allowed to climb all over them. It's cute when puppies climb all over each other, you know, when they're doing the puppy piles. It's not cute when a dog is doing it to a dog like this. It's creating avoidance in the flight mechanism. And because this dog there's no repercussions for, you know, the puppy here. There's no repercussions for the puppy. This dog is going to do this out into the real world, and it just might do it on the wrong dog that doesn't have the skills or the ability to hold back from correcting another dog. Where who knows what could happen? You know, there could be a million different things that happen. So that's where I come from. I just want my dogs to understand what is allowed and what isn't in that context. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to be doing more of these breakdowns as we progress with the show. So, which was good. That was 17 minutes. All right. So I want to talk about crate training too, because I think the $1,000,000 question that I get asked all the time is how long is a dog allowed to be in the crate? And my answer is to that. It depends on what happens outside of the crate. Because if you have a dog inside of the crate for 12 hours, or yeah, if you have a dog in a crate for 12 hours a day, which is a long time, but for those other 12 hours, the dog is getting playtime, walk time, rest time, you know, because it does need to rest. You know, activities, maybe it's allowed in a fenced in area out back, whatever. If the dog is active outside of those times, then it's really not that big of a deal. If your dog is in the crate 24 hours a day and the other 2 hours it's anchored to something or it's tied to a tree outside, well, then that sucks. That's all there is to it. It just sucks. So for me, I want a dog to either be able to regulate itself, which is, I think, a skill that some dogs are born with and some are not. If it can't regulate itself, then I want to help regulate that dog for him or herself, because I will create set times for the dog to go into the crate so that then you can condition the brain and the body like this is a rest time. This is a time that you can move and get out. This is another rest time, and so on and so forth. Because if we just stuff our dog into the crate all the time and we don't do anything else with it and the dog is stuck in the house, well, now you're going to get cabin fever. And I think for the majority of us that experienced COVID, where we had to stay in our homes and not socialize and not see other people in person, that's where that cabin fever can come into play. In dogs, it comes out of them in frustration. It can come out in destruction. It can come out in barking. It can come out in whining, anxiety, all sorts of different behaviors. And I don't want to mess around with any of that. And so usually after that question, I hear, well, I don't want to put my dog in the crate as punishment. And I'm going to quote a trainer that, you know, trained for a very, very, very long time. And unfortunately, he just passed away about a month ago, George Cockrell. And I remember talking to George about this, and his words to me were, Ian, he goes, did you ever get in trouble as a kid and get sent to your room? And I went, yep, definitely. And he goes, were you afraid to go to bed that night? Nope, nope, I wasn't. And he goes, so there you go. But he goes, how you put that dog into the crate matters. So if you do it with anger, if you do it with frustration, if you do it with intensity, well, then you can start to create a different form of association to the crate. But if your dog already looks at the crate as a bedroom, a place of relaxation, a place where they don't get bothered, a place to them that means it's downtime and it's rest time, well, you've created positive associations to that dog. And my client that I was working with today, their puppy is 15 weeks. And so these were her questions to me, her and her husband. And so I said the same thing about, going to your room as a kid when you got in trouble. And in that moment, I explained to her the same concept that you can, if the dog is just like, sometimes they get overtired, sometimes they just can't settle. Sometimes they're just nipping and nipping and nipping, and they're just chewing on our legs, or they're chewing on the leg of a chair. You can just see where that brain is not settling. Then at that time, it's time to put that dog on a leash, lead it over, and put it in the crate. And for a few minutes, that dog may struggle just because of the overall intensity that you're putting them into the crate with, but that needs to wash out. It needs to filter out. And if we look at dogs just like humans, it's very difficult to take a very, very intense state of mind and bring it down quickly. You just can't do it. There's no command for calm. If there was, I wouldn't be training dogs, and you wouldn't know any dog trainers, and there wouldn't be any trainers, period, because you had a word that was able to regulate your dog's heartbeat, regulate their nervous system, regulate their physiology. Like, it can't happen that way. So the only way for it to happen is kind of this like ski slope effect, where it has to filter through, it has to water down so that they can get back to that point of relaxation. And so when you take a dog that may be intense and you're not putting up with that behavior anymore, and they need to go into their crate, you're going to deal with some frustration there for a little bit. And as long as they're not chewing at the crate, as long as they're not digging, or anything like that, then you don't have to do anything. Sometimes it's just good to let a dog figure those things out, and then we don't have to actually teach them every step of the way. I need you to do this now, and this now, and this now, and that now, and that now, and that. Like the micromanaging sometimes that I see we get into with dogs, it's a lot. It's truly a lot. And I want the crate to be a positive association. You can still have it be a positive association, even if one time, or a few times a week, you put them in there because you feel like they need that time, then so be it. But I'm big on patterns. So if it's at 2:00 every day that your dog just gets cranked up and belligerent and you can't control them, guess what? Number one, I'm gonna make sure energy is drained at noon, or maybe walks in the morning or whatever. And at 1:00 every day your dog goes crazy. Then at 12:30, I'm gonna put the dog in the crate, because I'm going to get ahead of the unwanted behavior by draining some energy and then putting him into a place I'm going to throw a wrench in the gears and create the brain to settle down a little bit more, create some peace instead of some intensity during a time that I don't want, and all the unwanted behaviors. So that's that's where I come from on the crate. So I hope that helps. But all right, that'll do it for episode 2. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, your dog owner friends, about this. Again, I'll be doing this on a regular basis. I'll be back next week with episode 3 and probably some more video breakdowns. So please comment. Let me know what you think, what your favorite part of this was, and what would you like to see in the future. So hope everybody has a great day, and we'll see you next week.